fourth or fifth time, I don't know, I've lost track. Tried to get on here and make this thing work, but it's been a pain in the butt tonight. I don't know why. So we'll see if anybody gets on here now. I don't know. Welcome, whoever is out there. What's going on? What's happening? We've been trying to get on here for the last 15 minutes, but it's ended up giving up on the laptop. The laptop would not let me get on, so tonight we're going to be a lefty playing the left hand at Les Paul. So it is what it is. All right. So we'll wait for a couple more people to get in here, and we'll kind of go on with about our chat and talk about what's going on in the world of guitar and whatever. And the world of compression through the Kemper. You know, a guy was asking me, we played a club the other night called the Wing Shack over in Orlando, and guy came in. He said, "Hey, Steph, what's up, doing, Steph? What's going on?" So we were playing over there, and this guy came up to me, and he goes, "Why are you playing that Quad Cortex?" And I said, "Because I think it sounds really good." And everybody else seems to think so too. He goes, "Yeah, it sounds good, but it's not a Kemper." And I went, "I know, that's why the Kemper's at home." And he was like, "Oh, you have a Kemper?" I said, "Yeah, I have a Kemper. I've had a Kemper for a long time. I use it for my live streams, but we don't use it for live anymore. We don't take it out anymore because it doesn't make any sense, when the Quad Cortex does everything that the Kemper did plus more. And it sounds a lot better. So it doesn't compress. You guys don't hear this, but there's a lot of compression on this patch right here. Because that's what I plug into. Yeah, it's because it's what I think sounds good. So, but yeah, it was a fun gig. I tell you, if you're ever in Orlando and you want to hear a really good sounding room, the Wing Shack over there sounds great. Man, that room I don't know, it had some mojo to it for sure. I don't know what was in that room, but it was mojo all the way. We played over there. We had a guy that's kind of, I guess, going to be pretty much our drummer for the most part. This guy's Sean Cody. And this guy's a beast of a drummer. I played with him when he was like 17 years old. Now he's older, and he's just killer. I mean, he's just a beast of a drummer. It was, our drummer used to be, we used to have this guy that used to be, he still is. He's plays in the Moody Blues, and he played with NSYNC. That was our old drummer, and he left, and we've kind of been searching along, trying to find a replacement. Hey, what's happening, Eric? been looking for a replacement all this time, and finally I think we have found the magic guy. Because to replace Billy, the guy that we had that was with or who is with the Moody Blues now, that was a big task. But this guy Sean, I think he's the guy. I think he is the guy that's going to do the job for the rest of the time. So if it looks a little different tonight because I'm lefty and everything, it is because I had to log on with the phone tonight because the laptop, for some odd reason, did not want to work tonight. It just was like, no, you got a connection problem in here. I'm like, I don't think so. We have fiber. I don't know what you're seeing as a connection issue. So, and then I think it did something else. It showed coming on soon, and yeah, you guys would know more than me. If you tried to log on earlier, you would have seen that there was something going on. So, but tonight we have, gosh, what is that? I'm trying to figure out why they're doing that. But tonight's guitar of choice is the Brazilian Board 2003 58 reissue custom shop Les Paul. Historic reissue. Weird playing a Les Paul. I don't really play Les Pauls that often, but when I do, I like to play a nice one. So this one's kind of been sitting there doing nothing. I said, you know, this thing needs a little love. So I brought it out. So, so I don't know if anybody else Rush sounding. I'm trying to think of. Rush. So, I don't know if anybody was. I think Steph, you were on the other night when I kind of went live. I went live from Universal Studios. Halloween Horror Nights. We did that on Saturday or Sunday night. I think it was Sunday night we were out there. And I am thinking about possibly doing that again. But I would do it on the Wednesday, our normal Wednesday night. But I would just broadcast, do this whole thing, no guitar, but I would broadcast from Universal. How do you guys feel about it? Would you guys like me to do that? I don't know when I'm going to do it, but it would be before Halloween sometime. I might do that you guys good with that, or you like just doing the in the studio here? I'll wait for the responses to come in. I see a couple thumbs up. Studio, okay. Steph likes the studio. I love the broadcast from the Universal Studio. Oh, so all right, so good. I'm glad you like that. Who was that? I don't even remember who that was. I got my phone on here, so I'm having to check stuff. That was Michelle. Okay, cool. So you like the idea of Universal. Okay, so we have one yes and one no. It's a tie. Who's gonna be the tiebreaker here? Anybody else? I mean, we'll go out there and do that. I mean, it's a lot of fun. We had a good time out there, roaming around the haunted houses and scare actors and stuff like that. Now, if I did it out there, I would show you some of what's going on out there, which I did the other night. Just kind of walk through. If you play when you're there, how am I going to play when I'm walking around in haunted houses? That was not the whole thing. Universal is always a good, memorable time. Okay, so we got 2. All right, thank you. I like the idea as well as something different. Okay. All right, cool. We got more. We got 3. 3-1. Swing and a miss. There it is. All right, so 3. All right, so yeah, I like the doing that, and I would sit down somewhere and talk and do all what I'm doing here, and walk around in certain areas. And I would show you some of the stuff that's going on out there, just so you get an idea what's some of the scare actors and some of the fun stuff that is out there. Okay, Eric likes it as well. On location is cool. I also, I believe next week we have, I will be at Old Town. So we will do that one as well again. We'll show you some of the old cars, and maybe I will set up the camera and you guys, oh God, I don't know if I can do it or not. I would show you some of the band playing. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'll get copyright striked, because you'll get to hear us play cover material. But I'll see if I can do something that you guys can watch. What was your favorite house? We only got through 4 houses this so far. We're going to go through multiple times. We bought a thing called a frequent fear pass, and we'll get to go multiple times. So we didn't rush, but we did go. We went through the WWE house, which is the Wyatt 6. We went through Terrifier. We went through Jason's Universe, which is all about Friday the 13th. And the last one was called Gulkin or something like that. It was like a cold house type thing. Out of those 4, Terrifier was my favorite. Gulkin was the best, like scares and stuff. They really scared the living crap out of me a few times. Jason did too. Jason got some good ones in there. And the Terrifier house, if you've never seen the movie, watch the movies. There's 3 of them. They're welcome to Rockstar. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We appreciate becoming a member. Really awesome, man. Thank you, Eric. So anyways, we went to Terrifier. Terrifier was awesome. The movie, like I said, if you've never seen these movies, go watch them for Halloween. They're on Prime, so if you got Prime, go watch it. It's not the highest budget per se movies, but it is kind of funny. If you've never seen these guys, he is a clown. Art the Clown is this Terrifier guy. And he walks around, he smiles, he goes, like this, he kind of waves at you. When he does that, there's a guy actually in the houses that does that, but there's also a guy that they have roaming the park. And he rides around on a little tricycle, and he waves at you. And he's got a little bag and stuff with body parts, I guess, in it. I'm not really sure what he's got in there, but that was kind of cool. And if you're a WWE fan, you will like the Wyatt 6 house. They do pay a little homage to Bray Wyatt. If you don't know who Bray Wyatt was, he's the guy that started the whole Wyatt 6 thing. But he had a Firefly Funhouse and all this stuff, and he passed away a couple years ago at age of 37. Just done. Check, please. So subscribe to the channel and let's make it bigger. And I can't wait. Yeah. So yeah, the more members, the better it gets. And you guys that become members will get exclusive, get to see videos before they go live. So we have kind of set that. We have a video going live tomorrow that we did that we'll talk about, basically about cover bands. It's not really about guitar, but it is, well, it is, but it isn't. Because there is a guitar factor in part of it, or for a large part of it, actually. But it talks about how cover bands, how they work, but how guitar players and other musicians kind of look at other bands. When you go see a band, and you guys can talk about that. We can talk about this right now. We'll talk. Excuse me, God, water's coming back to get me. But when you go see a band, do you prefer a band to play everything note for note? That's a big thing. A lot of bands go out and they see these bands and they expect them to be exactly like the people they're covering. And I'm one of those people that, even though I play in a cover band and I do play a lot of stuff exactly like the record, I don't really prefer to see a band play everything just like the record. If I want to see the record performed, I'll listen to it on, watch a video of it, of that band playing it. But, a lot of times they aren't playing it like the record. I talked about this a little bit on the channel a few months ago, I think. I saw ZZ Top. Billy didn't play, gosh, maybe he might have played maybe 30% like the record. The rest of it was pretty much on the fly. Playing it live gives you a unique sound compared to the, let's see. It's boring to play exactly. I agree. Totally agree. Let's see, what was it? You can always listen to the original. That's what I'm saying. You can always do that. It's cool to do covers, but in your own style. That's what I say. You got to kind of do things your own way a lot of the way, because what I cover in that video, and you guys can watch it, I go through a little bit more than I'm talking about now, so I make sure you watch it. But as you go along, you have these guys that, say I'm a proficient country guy. I am country to the bone, all right? And I get called to do a top 40 dance band. And they're playing, let me see here. Let me see. Give you some Roller Coaster. And this guy's usually going, or country, blues, whatever. And he's not proficient doing stuff like that. That's not his forte. And you go see these people play, and they're nowhere near what that song kind of details. So they're not going to be great at it. So the song is not going to be, like the record by any means. They're kind of going to do their own thing to compensate for what their guitar player or the bass player or even the drummer, dictates. I play with drummers. I mean, I've gone and played with people that hard to handle. You think about that beat, it's kind of iconic. It's, kind of details that whole song. But I have played with drummers who just cannot pick that groove up. That groove is just not in their realm. And you kind of have to play around that. Songs always change. Yeah, Eric, I agree. Yeah, songs do change after you play them for a while, especially for a while. If you only cover a single band, perform expect pretty close. Okay, exactly. I did not talk about that, and we'll talk about it. I did not talk about that in this upcoming video, and I meant to, but I did not. And that's good. That's exactly. If you are in a cover band and you are a tribute band, I expect to go out and hear a tribute band playing all the songs like the record, or even doing like, like Godsmack. They do a version of Rocky Mountain Way. And if you cover Rocky Mountain Way as a Godsmack tribute, I expect you to do Rocky Mountain Way the way Godsmack did it, not the way Joe Walsh did it. Even if you can do it like Joe Walsh, I'd rather you do it as the way Godsmack or you Triumph. When you come see me play, I do a version of Rocky Mountain Way and I morph Rick Emmett's version and Joe Walsh's version, because I was a big Triumph fan. I loved Rick Emmett. Rick Emmett was like one of my favorite players growing up. He's a great player. He's kind of like Steve Howe in a lot of ways. If you know who Steve Howe is, Steve Howe played with Yes. Rick Emmett played with Triumph, and they both share a common bond to each other. And Rick Emmett is a Steve Howe fan. There's no doubt about it. They both grew up liking jazz a lot. They were jazz guys. These were, jazz guys that kind of got into the rock thing. Could you picture Roy Clark playing Van Halen? No, exactly. or one of these guys playing Metallica. Yeah, exactly. You. No, I couldn't. I really, that's a great, great way to say it. I think I said mine was Travis Tritt, trying to, rock guy trying to play Travis Tritt, or me, even me. I mean, I see some of the stuff on some of these song lists I go and I do, and I'm like, I'll do the best I can, but I'm not going to guarantee it. Rick and Steve are beast on the guitar. Absolutely. Both of them are beast. Steve Howe, one of the all-time greats. I'll take Rick Emmett. I think Rick Emmett was actually a better player than Steve Howe. Just because, and this is, just because I believe Rick was a better overall player. Steve still, even though he played his progressive rock thing, he still maintained that jazz feel was always there. It never kind of went away. I always felt like I could still feel the influx of the jazz in him. But with Rick, I think Rick is very underrated. Absolutely, he's very underrated. And I may be a little biased towards Rick because I actually got to have a lesson with Rick Emmett. Always remember Rick's tune called Glad's Hand tune. Yeah, I've never heard him play it live either. And I have seen Triumph a couple times, or actually I think 3 times. And like I said, I did get a lesson with Rick Emmett. Great guy. Very good guy. Very quick lesson, but I did get one. It was very humble and very generous with his time. So, but I think he was a better player to me. I mean, we all look at players, and that's one of the things we all do. We judge people. Oh, he's a better player. He's a better player. But, we go see people. There are people that play things better than others. Like, if I like the jazz thing, if we put Steve and we put Rick in the same room playing jazz, like traditional jazz, Steve might actually hold the advantage there. But as an overall player, playing different styles and stuff, I think Rick was a better player. So that's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it. And there's so many other players out there that are the same way. There's certain things that they do that are so good. It's fun to listen to multiple covers of classics like Nights of White Satin, yes, back to back. Let me hit that again so I can see that. Taliban do and hear what Taliban does with a classic song. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We do a version of Rocket Man. Rick, I agree. Rick could. What about Vinnie Vincent? Oh, Vinnie Vincent is a tricky situation there. Vinnie was a rock player. There's no doubt about it. Just a rock player. And I pretty much going to end it there. He's a rock player. I don't know if he could do much else. Nuno is a beast. That's all I'm going to say. Nuno is a beast. Nuno probably could play anything he wanted to play. Nuno, you know, one of those guys that really is underrated by a lot of people. I don't think people really get him. Yeah, you know, I agree with you on that one, man. He is definitely homely. Either way. I remember the first time I ever saw Vinnie Vincent when he joined Kiss, because I was a huge Kiss fan. And I went, God, that dude's ugly. I mean, he had the makeup on, but it wasn't like Ace or Paul. You know, those guys had, I can't say the same thing about Gene, but Paul and Ace, I did have Ace in the shop, but so these guys, those two, Ace and Paul, still look good with makeup on. Vinny, when you saw him, you said great hair. It really didn't. You could tell Vinny wasn't a very good looking guy. He's not a very good looking girl either. He's just one of those guys. I'm not going to take it that far, but and Gene he's not a good looking guy as well. Now he's just old. Vinnie Vincent is just old. Yes, he is old. I saw a recent photo of Ace with Vinny. Oh my God. Ace did not age well either. What's going on, man? What is going on? Was that Bebot? I think it's Bebot. I can't see real well. I had to use my phone and I don't have my laptop up. We tried to do the live stream with the laptop, but unfortunately, the YouTube god said no, not tonight. So we're doing with a phone. Luckily, I have a larger phone, so I can see some of it. But yeah, it's funny how these players and stuff, they didn't age well. There's a lot of them that just did not age well. What's your thought of the guys with wigs? Let me see. Mine doesn't. Damn it! My wig doesn't come off. You know, a lot of those guys are just. I mean, they're bald. I mean, are you okay? Let me ask you a question. So, anybody see the video of Rick Nielsen with the 5-neck guitar, couldn't get it up? Okay, I don't know what, but George Lynch, yeah, George Lynch, awesome. He did not fare too well. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the hair thing real quick. I'll go to that. Are you talking about like bands, like major bands, or are you talking cover bands or tribute bands? You have to be more specific about that. So let me know what that was all about, and I'll get into that and I'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, George Lynch, you talked about George. George is a great player. George is a rock player. He can play rock and blues. I don't know how you can play country all that way. Okay, so you're talking the traditional players, the classic players. Michael, yes, he does wear a wig. I've seen it close up and personal from me to here this far away. And yes, it's a wig, and it looks good. I mean, he's a nice guy, super nice guy. I don't know how many of those other guys are wearing wigs. A lot of people say that Paul Stanley wears a wig. I don't know if he does or not. If it is a wig that he wears, it's a really good wig. Bret Michaels, we know he is bald up here. We know he doesn't have any hair here. I think this is still real, but I don't know. I don't know how many of those guys are out there still, rocking the wigs. I know a lot of the tribute acts are all rocking the wigs. In fact, my duo partner I have in Psychoustic plays in a Motley Crue and a Poison tribute. He uses wigs for both of them because he doesn't have hair. He only has a short little hair, and he rocks the Bret Michaels thing most of the time. Heard back in the day, Frampton wore a blonde wig in the 70s. Really? Steel Panther, some of those guys wear wigs and some of them do not. I know that. Some of them have wigs and some do not. Steel Panther, I don't know how to, because they are a spoof on everything. So I don't know how to put them in there. Paul still has hair. Okay, good. I was thinking Paul did have hair because I was looking at this. I was looking over. I have Paul's book. Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons still has hair. It's just I don't know how to describe Gene's hair. Gene's hair. It's different, isn't it? Oh boy. Gene has hair. Bad hair. That's all I was gonna say. It's bad hair. There's a lot of people with bad hair out there. But yeah, it is what it is, I mean, a rock star, when you get those rock stars and stuff, it's like when Metallica cut their hair. I don't know how you guys felt, but I was like, are you kidding me? It's like Alice in Chains, they cut their hair. I was like, Lane cut his hair? Oh man. It just kind of like, growing up, I always thought rock stars had to have hair. And we have some girls that actually come out and see the band. Yeah, I still have hair. But we have some girls that come out and see the band and stuff. And one of them is only 21 years old. And she told me she would kill me if I ever cut my hair. Because she said, you got to have hair to be a rock star. And I was like, really? You really feel that way? She goes, yeah, you got to have hair. And she goes and follows all these bands. We have a band right here, what are they called? Papa Wheelie. And they're super popular. Got a couple younger cats in the band, actually really young, I mean in 20s, which is good. That's about the age I was out doing it a lot when I started doing it. Early 20s, great player. Great band, really good band. They've got a great following. All the older MILFs all come out to watch them. So, but they've also got some younger girls coming out, and which I'm stoked to see that. To have a bunch of girls come out and see these bands, and the girls like it because these guys have long hair. They just feel like they're bringing back a time period gone by. It's like, oh wow, they've got hair. you know, and there's so many bands out there now. I mean, we see a lot of like local cover bands that are, you know, they call their band Hair This and Hair That, and they all wear wigs. Steph, you gotta go, buddy? Okay, you stop by the shop. I'll see you then. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate your help. And so we see a lot of bands. I don't know about your area, whether you see these bands as well. You see them, they're out there, and they're rocking the wigs and the whole 9 yards. They look great. You would look amazing with a Wayne Cochran pop down. Wayne Cochran, the CC Riders. You know, at least you didn't say Gigi Allen. Yeah, you know, I did see Wayne Cochran. I saw was that the Detroit Wheels? Was that, am I right about that? Let me know. I think, wasn't Wayne Cochran in the Detroit Wheels? Wasn't that? I'm trying to think about that. Yes. Okay, so I am right. Okay, yeah. I actually did see them when I was a kid. Rob Halford. Rob doesn't rock Rob doesn't hold any punches back. I don't like tribute bands. I have to try. What is that? Local. I think it looks ridiculous. A band does tribute like Boston Guns, and they go, because the look. Okay, so the tribute bands wear the wigs and stuff. I will say this: my duo partner plays in a band called Primal Crew, and they're really good. They're a good Motley Crue tribute act. He looks just like Vince Neil. He has the wig because he doesn't have hair, and he has very little hair. He, like I say, wears this bandana thing like Brett. But he, when he puts that wig on, he's Vince Neil. I mean, he looks like Vince Neil. When Vince Neil wasn't super big Vince Neil, but when Vince Neil was a little bigger. So he's that transition Vince Neil. But he sounds like him. He looks like him. As far as I'm concerned, Motley Crue, if anybody from Motley Crue's management company or whoever if you guys ever see this, hey, Terry got in. Hey, Terry's there. If you ever see the band Primal Crew, it would be a really cool thing to have him put him with Motley Crue, because I don't think anybody would know that Vince Neil was gone. I know they're having problems with it now. Vince Neil, I think he may be out of the band again. But I think it would be very cool. You put Bill, my buddy Bill, in there, and I would think they would just think Vince is back and he's slimmed down. That's what I would think, you know, because he's that good. Oops, it was the CC Riders. Okay, yeah, Wayne Cochran and the CC Riders. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, I did see them when I was a little itty bitty. I mean, I was a little itty bitty kid. They played a theme park, and I went and saw them there. So yeah, that's funny. My mom had to go see them. I think my mom liked them, so we went and saw them. So, and Terry, you just saw me yesterday, wasn't that right? Terry was in the shop yesterday. So yeah, it's the hair thing, you know. It is what it is, you know. You got guys that are rocking it and some guys aren't rocking it. I mean, you got, you know, Creed, you got all those guys that they don't have hair, they never have. There are a ton of bands in the Raleigh area that can only think a couple of the guys that rock the long hair. Yeah. I enjoyed talking to you too, Terry. It was awesome. You know, I'll tell you why a lot of bands don't have hair anymore playing out. And a lot of them are older. They're like, you know, they're like me. we're older out playing. I think now in Motley Crue. Oh no, God, please no. So a lot of guys are older and they work day jobs. You see a lot of great players that, back when they were in their 20s, yeah, a lot of them are bald. Hey, two of the guys, actually three of the guys now, our new drummer, he's almost bald. Our bass player is bald, and so is our singer. So everybody in my band is bald except for me. So, and they all say, you got enough hair for all of us. But what happens is, just like the guys in my band, two of the guys in my band both work in real estate. They work as appraisals. They do appraisals around the country for major houses and stuff like that. And then my drummer he's in a surveyor guide, so he works a job like that. Okay, so both of you guys have hair, and two of you don't, because we're all older, and it happens to a lot of guys. We all all the dudes working in my local music shop are bald. Cool dudes though. Yeah, they all can't be like our buddies up there in Casino. Jonathan, who has hair. Sean has hair. Baxter might be on the way out. Baxter's still holding it. He's holding on to it, and I think he can probably hold on to it. And I'll tell you this: there's a thing called PRP for hair. If you're starting to experience problems with your hair, I heard this stuff works pretty good. So I'm just letting you know. So if you're into that stuff, now we're doing hair tips on the channel. Why not? That's why we come on here on Wednesday nights, just to talk about whatever. We just talk about whatever there is to talk. So, and that's the cool thing about doing the live thing. We can just kind of chit chat about everything. I mean, we've had nights where we just talked wrestling. We've had nights we talked NASCAR. Football season is coming up this week, guys. So I expect we're gonna probably Randy's hair attic. Yeah. Hi guys, come on, I'll do your hair. No, you don't want me to cut your hair. I'd be like Edward Scissorhands. But no, so football season is coming up. So we're going to get all into that, I'm sure. It's all about image, right? Sometimes it is. Give hair tips, it should be me. Well, thank you, my dear. Appreciate that. My niece does my hair, by the way. This is actually my real hair. Well, this is my real hair too, but this is my normal color, by the way, just to let you know. How? Native American. But so we got football season coming up. Is a funny thing? I'll talk about this. A lot of musicians are not sports fans. I found this out when I was on the road, that there was just me and the drummer and the singer. We were actual sports fans. Our bass player didn't care about it. Had no care in the world about sports. See? Scott says, I hate sports. Bingo. See? It is a weird thing. Our road crew guys didn't care about it at all. I hate college football. I don't mind any football. Guys, I'll let you know, funny thing about me, when I got off the road after the record company said no more, I don't like football. See, there's another one. See? When I got off the road, I was so discouraged. What about fake wrestling? I love fake wrestling. Oh, so you love wrestling or love football. Good. So there's a couple more people like that. But I got off the road. When I got off the road, I was discouraged. I had to do something else with my life. I got off. I got a broadcasting degree. I became a broadcaster. Went into radio. Did that. And I did some things. And then I became a sportscaster. Yeah, I was a sportscaster on the radio talking sports 5 nights a week. That's all I did. I grew up in a house with no sports on TV. Never got into any of it. Really, none of it. Wow. I grew up in the world of sports, and I'm laughing at UNC Bill Belichick. Yes, me too. I agree. See, here we go with the sports thing. I can guarantee you this next few months here, we're going to probably talk a lot of football and sports. Remember the agony of defeat. That was Wide World of Sports with it was Wide World of Sports. Howard Cosell was actually on there as well. I know he did Monday Night Football with Don Meredith. But I think Howard Cosell actually got his start with Wide World of Sports on ABC. Yes, I did. It was a very good time. Oh my goodness, look at those players. They are huge. Dandy Don, yeah. Yep. So, and if you watch, I know Terry caught this. We talked about this Terry yesterday. He likes the way I end the show. The way I actually end the show, if you listen to me when I tell you when we're done with this, I say so long from the Sunshine State, which we are in the Sunshine State. I did not create that. That came from a guy by the name of, who was it? Yes, he announced the death of John Lennon. Yes, he did. John Lennon is dead. But, so Terry, I know you know who I'm talking about, so. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Gordon Solie. Gordon Solie was the man. Yeah, Gordon Solie used to say that. He always in championship wrestling from Florida and some other ones. He'd always say, "So long from the Sunshine State," and I just picked that up because Gordon Solie was one of my favorites. I want to get in Sunshine Key West. Want to see Jack and Ken. Pier 6, bro. We got a Pier 6er going. I'll tell you a funny story about Gordon Solie. There was one time he was talking about, they went out, it was when he was living in Georgia, and they went to the Hyatt Regency. And they were all drinking out there. Him and I think Skip Carey. And they were all drinking. And he said he got a jalapeno pepper. He bit into it and it squirted in his eye. So while he was on the air doing championship wrestling from Florida, he starts bringing up this story about, you don't want to, Ricky Steamboat. I love Ricky Steamboat. So he starts telling the, you don't ever want to eat those jalapeno peppers because they could squirt in your eye. And if you get them in your eye, it stings really bad. And you don't want, and he starts going on about this. I'm like, I can't believe they didn't cut this out of the way. But I guess it was live when they did championship wrestling from Georgia, and it was all live. So he went on this whole spill about jalapeno peppers for like 5 to 6 minutes. Like, well, this is interesting. Totally, there's a match in the ring, and he's going on about jalapeno peppers. Yeah, I know. The things I talk about on this channel. What you think of new metal? I like some new metal. Not all of it. When I remember the first time I heard somebody doing the Scream thing. And I was like, I'm not really sure about that. Which the early guys that actually did the Screamo thing, which is now a part of a lot of new metal, They actually were grunting as loud as they could to get this thing, and half of them can't sing anymore because they blew their vocal cords out doing it. I need a Les Paul help. I have Les Pauls. We have Les Pauls. We have, actually, I'm low on Les Pauls right now. I think I only have 4 Les Pauls in the shop, which is crazy. I don't think I've ever had less than 8 or 9 at any point, but now I'm actually low. I don't know why it is. Les Pauls have actually been selling for a change. For a while there, I couldn't get rid of a Les Paul. Les Pauls just sat there. At that point, I think I had 25 Les Pauls on the wall, and nobody wanted them. And slowly but surely, they have dwindled down. So it's good that I actually have got rid of them. Everything sells eventually. Everything sells eventually, I hope. That one sounds good. Thank you, I appreciate it. It does sound good. This is a nice Les Paul. I don't ever play it hardly. I just brought it out and I said, you know what? I have not played this thing, might as well take it. Well, thank you. That is a Kemper Profiler, by the way. So, and I was telling the story, I had a guy the other night come in the club and asked me, he said, why don't you use a Kemper and all this stuff? And I use a Quad Cortex. Howdy, what's happening? Here's a really good tone. Les Paul, personally I think a Les Paul is this tone. That's when I know it's a Les Paul. Is that type of tone, that front pickup is just, is a tone, It's not the... Played that a little different just because I don't want a copyright strike. But you know what it was. But yeah, Jimmy Page had, he was kind of known for that. Is that neck fat and chunky? This is a baseball bat neck. I don't use a Kemper. I could have told him that, but no. I could have done that, but I didn't. I should have. But no, I didn't do that. This Les Paul, I noticed, has it has the treble pickup pot is dirty and it's sticking. I need to fix it. Depend on, what was that again? I'm What was that again? I don't know. Do you depend on other strings when tuning? You know, oh, you mean tuning on their string? Yeah, deoxide. No, I can do that. I mean, but it's very convenient when you have the tuner sitting right there. That's all. Plus, it's not as annoying. I guess I got to the point, I can remember the days when you went and you played. Oh, dampen, not really. I remember a band would tune up before the set, and they'd go, "Give me an A, give me an E, give me a D, give me a G, give me a B, give me an E." You tune together like that, and that was before everybody had strobe tuners and stuff like that. I remember when we first got a strobe tuner, it was like the greatest thing ever. It's like, hey, wow, we can all tune up together and have the same tuner. All right, so we only got about 4 more minutes in the show here. So I always give you guys the last. You guys want to shoot me some questions or whatever about anything, whatever is going on. Questions about guitars or music, football, wrestling, NASCAR, whatever. So, guys, got anything? Give me something. We'll try to get back out to you and see if we got enough time in the show here. Remember, we do this every Wednesday night, about 8 o'clock. We'll get on here and we'll scroll on through and talk all kinds of fun stuff. And we were talking earlier, I'm going to do some broadcasts from Universal Studios. What's your favorite guitar pedal circuit? Probably the Germanium. I like Germanium. So, if that's what the question was, if you were asking. Although I'm JC 4558, yeah. 4558 is good. I like those too. Anything else? But yeah, like I said, we're gonna probably do we're gonna go out one Wednesday. We're gonna go out and we're gonna actually broadcast from Universal Studios during Halloween Horror Nights. So if you want to watch that, that's gonna be kind of cool. I will go through parts of the park and show you some of the scare actors and stuff like that. But we'll probably just sit down and do it like doing now. Yeah, exactly. The tone better. Yep. Love NASCAR. Also, decent race at Darlington this past weekend. Yes, it was a decent race. Not as good as some of the past ones we've seen out there, but it was a good race. Good to see Briscoe win another race. Hello from Michigan. Great video. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it very much. So, anyways. So, yeah. So, if you see me lefty tonight, it's because I am on my phone, not on the laptop. And because YouTube gods did not want my laptop to work tonight. So, we're on the phone. And remember, we do this from 8 till 9 o'clock. We're a little overnight because we did not. I wondered if you were going to be in here tonight. Gotta do my Slayer. All right. Like and subscribe. Join if you have And everybody have a great weekend. Thank you, Eric. I really do appreciate that very much. He loves that Slayer stuff. I'm going to have to learn something else by Slayer just for you. See you guys next week. Thank you very much. Keep on rocking. Absolutely. And don't forget, this weekend we will be at Traders in New Smyrna Beach Friday and Saturday night with the occasional astronauts. So if you're in Florida and you're close by, come by and see me. And also, stop by the Guitar Act, 1672 and a half on Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flomish in beautiful North Holly Hill, which is part of Daytona Beach, if you're not familiar with that area. We say North Holly Hill because we don't want to associate with South Holly Hill. And if you lived here, you'd understand why. Terry understands. He was in the store yesterday. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So, as always, thanks for watching, and so long from the Sunshine State.